Hello. Today is a very special day. We are going to do a little ceremony, which I call committing to loving ourselves. It is something that I created when I first began performing wedding ceremonies, and in asking the bride and groom to repeat some vows, I wished with all my heart that I could have a wedding ceremony so I could repeat those vows. And then I realized, wait a minute, I can repeat those vows to myself. So, if you're ready, I'm going to begin with a spiritual mind treatment that Dr. Raymond Charles Barker wrote in his book, Treat Yourself to Life. And it's called, I love to let love express through me. All right, so relax. The mood of the infinite is one of love. The action of intelligence takes place in loving ways. Knowing this, I realize that the love of God uses me as a center of its distribution. I let my mind be a center of God's intelligence. I let my heart be a center of its love. Living the life of truth is a warm and joyous experience. I let God's ideas rule my mind, and I let God's love act through my heart. There is nothing within me to impede the love of the Spirit. I let the full action of divine love act through me. I am united with the good in everyone, and all else becomes as nothing. I am blessed and prospered by divine love. It enriches my soul, and it prospers my consciousness. This love flowing out from me is felt and recognized by others. In turn, they love me and judge me according to God's standards. I love to let love express through me. And so it is. So, the idea that I had this year about this commitment to loving ourselves was on an airplane. We're asked to put the oxygen mask on ourselves before we use that oxygen mask to support another. And so with all good things, we can only give what we have received. We can only give the advice that we ourselves have followed. We can only recommend that which has worked for ourselves. Recommendations and opinions and giving something that you haven't yourself accepted and experienced ring hollow. There's something missing, because it's that element of truth within you. When you know what you know and what you are sharing because you've experienced it, the other senses your conviction. And there is a greater agreement and a greater receptivity within them to listen to what you have to say, to look at what you have to give, and perhaps even to accept it. So, to love ourselves more is always a very, very high, maybe the highest spiritual practice. I know the Dalai Lama has said something like, if each human being spent 5 minutes each day just loving themselves, there would be peace on earth. I also found another quote by Mother Teresa, quote according to the internet by Mother Teresa. She said, America is a land that is starving for love. And I think as we view some of the incidents going on in the world, every one of them seemed to me to be a scream for more love. But we cannot give to these troubled people any more love than we ourselves have accepted. I think that's why groups like AA work so well, because they rely on people who have experienced the healing through that method to be the mentors. I did, when I first came to New Jersey, join a group of a version of AA where there were no people eligible to be sponsors. In other words, there were no people who had been practicing the program for a year. And that particular group that I attended just had nothing for me. I couldn't receive any help, any inspiration, any support from them. Maybe that was just my experience, but there were no sponsors in that group. So I say these things in order to convince us, right, that it's a good thing to spend some time loving yourself. Because the world, and the way I was raised, was don't think about yourself. Give all that you are to others. That's the better way, to sacrifice, to be a martyr. In fact, I was groomed to be a chameleon, so that I could be whatever I sensed someone else needed me to be. And having fully experienced that, I can say with conviction, going that route gave for me an experience of self-destruction, that the real Karen, became less and less. And so what I had to give was all show, was all effort. I had to work very, very hard, and I just became more and more drained, more and more miserable and unhappy, more and more troubled, and more involved with things the way the world predominantly seems to be expressing itself. But as I got onto this spiritual journey, I learned I had to love myself. And so my very first love myself spiritual practice, which I offer to you, is to look in the mirror, right into your eyes, and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I just did that for real right now. So you can see, you can realize what that practice is. And at first, it was an awful experience, and I didn't feel the love, and I didn't mean it. I just did it. But it hurt. I remember it was like, whatever. And I didn't want to look at myself. And I was much cuter back then than I appear to myself right now. Well, in a way. I guess the way I think the world measurements. Because eventually, in doing that practice, which I did not do every day, you know how they say you should do it every day, you should do this, blah, blah, blah. Nothing about shoulds in loving yourself. When I was able to do it, when I remembered to do it, when I did it, which really wasn't that many times. But over the years of practice, I just became more and more in love with looking into my own eyes and feeling that love for myself circulating within me. And as we feel that love within ourselves circulating within us, as we feel ourselves all filled up with that love, oh my gosh, we just want to smile and we want to share. I love to usher. And I had another wonderful opportunity last evening to usher, and the patrons are starting to recognize me because I've done it so much. And one person said, Are you still smiling? And I thought about it and I'm like, wow, it's not pasted on. I love this. And to be able to have a stream of people come past me, and my job is to just welcome them. My job is to love them. Yeah, and scan their ticket, but I mean, that's fun too. Little scanner's fun, but to just love them. And so I first was filled with the love, and it was spilling over to everyone. And then, of course, the performance was just through the roof because love spreads, it expands, and it does matter. You do matter. Your capacity to experience love blesses the whole world. And you may never know how your acceptance of love and your feeling of that love for yourself causes you to look in a way you might not even be aware. You might not even think you're smiling. It might not have anything to do with a smile. Just your consciousness, just your energy might affect the environment around you in a way you have no idea, and might never know. In fact, usually we don't ever know because we are connected. We are connected. And what happens to us affects the all. And so the more that we take responsibility for how we are affected, the more we can be the energy that lifts people around. And in our teaching, what we teach is if we do not take responsibility and initiate our personal experience, we become a victim of what the world is feeling and choosing. And at the moment, I don't think any of us want that. All right, so our commitment to love ceremony includes some vows. And I said that there were these vows that I did at wedding ceremonies, and I wanted to say them myself. And I'll share with you what they are right now, although the ceremony has a lot of vows and commitments, whatever. My most favorite is this. Will you love yourself, recognize your uniqueness, comfort yourself, honor yourself at all times, and give yourself your best, being open, honest, and loving throughout all the changes of your life. Would you like to be able to do that for yourself? Recognize your uniqueness. Comfort yourself. Honor yourself. And then here's the big one. Will you respect yourself, honor yourself, and keep sacred the integrity of your soul? Keep sacred the integrity of your soul. We are used to thinking about this one hurt me, that one did this to me, my heart is broken, it will never mend again. And certainly I've had that human experience. But how does that happen? I've learned that that has happened and it can happen if I don't commit to keeping sacred the integrity of my soul. It requires me to know who I am, which is forever, a forever job. Who am I today? Have I changed today? Who am I? What is important to me? What do I value? What do I desire? What do I want? I have to figure all that stuff out because no one is going to do it for me. You can certainly go to a psychic who will tell you what they can read about your consciousness, filtered through their understanding of their consciousness, because the psychic cannot give more than they themselves have received. It's a law. But what are they reading? They're reading what you believe. They're not able to see what is the truth of you unless you are. And so to keep sacred the integrity of your soul requires us to know our souls. And that is a continuous moment-to-moment activity. Paying attention to yourself. When the world is crazy. I went to New York City Friday, and the energy and the difference from the last time I had been there was 3 years ago, before lockdown and all that. And so a lot of things were different. And I was feeling myself, by the time I got into the bus terminal, I was drained energetically. I was exhausted. I just wanted to close my eyes and go to sleep. And it was early in the day. And I had fun things coming up. But my friend who was with me pointed out, we're picking up this energy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Keep sacred the integrity of my soul. And so, right, that's may or may not be, who knows, it's not my business. It may be the energy of the environment around me, but that's not my business. My business is turn within. Who am I? What do I desire? What do I want to experience? What do I need right now in order to be able to do that? And I took care of myself. So, are you ready to commit to loving yourself today? And I have done this ceremony every year. This may be my 28th year of doing this. And so I have said these vows to myself every year. And for sure, I forget all about them. An hour from now, or as soon as I end with you, I'm going to be busy doing some internet stuff with this video. And the thing is, I may totally forget, but that commitment reminds me in key moments when I need to be reminded, and is changing me. So I am, oh my gosh, so much more accepting of love for myself, and definitely having such a glorious experience loving others. So, oh, if you could have seen me then, but well. So, ready? All right, let me do a special prayer. I call it spiritual mind treatment. This word is being spoken for each one. Love is infinite, eternal, omnipresent. This love has created each one, and it is this love that has brought each one to this moment. It is love, divine love, that wants each one to know love's commitment, to take care of each one, to support and comfort each one, and to guide, protect each one always. Divine love has already made these vows. Divine love has already made the commitment. And right now, each one is able to accept that promise from love and to return that commitment by agreeing to love their very own self more than ever before. And so this ceremony is perfect for each one who does it. Each one receives the love their heart desires, and each one is better able to experience loving in a happier, healthier, and more harmonious way than ever before, and is so much better able to love with others, to give and receive love in every single relationship. I am so grateful that this word I speak is the truth, and that it already has been done, and it is done, and so it is. All right. I would like to ask you these following questions. Do you choose yourself, your divine self, the spirit of goodness within you, to be your companion, to live with in peace and harmony and love? Will you respect yourself, honor yourself, and keep sacred the integrity of your soul? If so, say, I do. Will you take your higher self, choosing yourself from all the world to be your partner? Will you live with yourself in a state of true commitment and partnership? Will you love yourself, recognize your uniqueness, comfort yourself, honor yourself at all times, and give yourself your best, being open, honest, and loving throughout all the changes of your life? If so, say, I will. Now, repeat after me. I, and say your name. I, Karen Kushner, ask you myself, to be my partner, my lover, my friend, and my continuous companion. My lover, my friend, and my continuous companion. I announce and declare my intention. To give you my deepest friendship and love. Not only when your moments are high, but when they are low. Not only when you remember who you are, but when you forget. Not only when you remember who you are, but when you forget. Not only when you are acting with love, but when you are not. Not only when you are acting with love, but when you are not. I further announce before God and those here present. That I will seek always to see the divinity within you. Even and especially in whatever moments of darkness may come. It is my intention to be in holy partnership with my soul forever. That I may forever do love's work. Sharing all that is good within me. With all those whose lives I touch. Therefore, inasmuch as you have consented together in this union with your higher being and witnessed the same before God and those present, and inasmuch as you have pledged your trust, love, and joy to share with yourself, and recognizing the authority vested in me by the state of New Jersey, it is indeed my joy to now pronounce you married to love, in love, as love, forever. And so it is. And so, go off now and have an absolutely wonderful honeymoon. And yes, you'll be well prepared for the next Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.